beautiful Sunday morning here in Castilla-La Mancha. We've travelled about an hour and a half from Caravaca and we're in Don Quixote country, and we've passed through the rice fields of Calaspara, the Dominación de Origen of Buyas and the Dominación de Origen de Jumilla. Currently we're sitting in the Rio of La Mancha, and today we're beginning what I would like to call the Bobal circle. You've heard of the Sherry Triangle in Andalusia? Well, this is going to be the Bobal circle. Bobal is the indigenous grape to a lot of these Dominación de Origens here in Castilla-La Mancha, and we're actually going to cross over the border into the Valencia region as well a little bit later on. But first we're having some breakfast, and we've stopped off at the Miguelitos Ruiz for some Miguelitos. And Miguelitos are a pastry, with a layered pastry with a custard in the middle with some icing and sugar or something on the top there, and they're absolutely delicious. And they were founded here in La Roda in Castilla-La Mancha by a man called Ruiz. And why they're called Miguelitos is because the first person who tasted the one was called Miguel, and therefore they got the name Miguelito. So we're having breakfast. Catch us later as we travel around the Bobal circle. Here we are on stop 2 of our whistle stop Sunday tour of Castilla-La Mancha, and we've just been to a winemaker in this wine region which is called Riera de Júcar. And Riera in English means riverbank of the Júcar River. And we've just been to a winemaker who makes very special wines. What he actually uses is he doesn't use stainless steel vats or oak barrels. What he uses is something called a tinaja. A tinaja is something that the Romans used. So he makes his wine in a very old traditional way. And some of the vines that he has that are around us here, some of them are like really old as well. In fact, this winery appears in the Wine Scholar Guild textbook that I used as I have just finished doing the Wine Scholar Guild course on Spanish wine. And the tinaja is actually in the book, and these labels for the wine, the wife of the winemaker, she actually paints those. So it's a very specialized winery. Its name is Las Calzaras, and it's artisan wine, very special wine. And as I said, the winemaking methods are date back to the Romans. In fact, around us here, one of these roads around the back of us here is the old Roman road that used to go as far down to Cartagena on the coast in Murcia when Cartagena was Okay, basically from the last place that we were at, where we were at the winery with the tinajas and everything, we've travelled along the river Júcar to Utiel, which in fact is in the Valencia region. So we've crossed over from Castilla-La Mancha into Utiel, and this is the spiritual home, if you like, the indigenous home of the Bobal grape. And this is an important place where we are, because if you know the story of Rioja and the story of Haro, when phylloxera hit the Rioja region and when it hit France, and Spanish winemakers began to adopt French winemaking methods. Well, a similar story happened here. This area, the Bobal grape, supposedly is a lot has a lot of resistance against things like phylloxera, and therefore the grape was able to survive. And just like in Rioja with Harrow and the train station at Harrow, which went to Bilbao, well, what happened here is across the road there, you have the train station of Utiel, and behind me here, you've got what once was a very famous bodega called the Redonda, the round bodega. And nowadays it serves as a wine museum and the headquarters of the DEO, which is Hotel region of wine. So, what used to happen back in the days, they would make the wine here, the wine would go over to the train station, the train station or the trains would take the wine to the port in Valencia. We're only about 80 or 90 kilometers from Valencia here, so 60 miles or so. We'd take the wine to the port of Valencia, and from Valencia the wine would go onto ships, and the wine would then be shipped on to France, where France at the time, we're talking about the late 1800s, where France was devastated by the phylloxera pest, which had killed all the vines and all the grapes in that country. So we're stood in a really historical wine location here in the east of Spain. Okay, we've come out a few kilometres outside of Utiel, and this is what you could class as the spiritual home of Bobal, the real spiritual home. In the background you can maybe be able to see his vineyards as far as the eye can see. And we're now standing in the boutique vineyard of Vera de Estañas, and this is one of the 3 Vino de Pagos in this area. So this is an estate winery that makes very specific wines, and the pioneer of Bobal as a grape to be enjoyed as something different was a man called Francisco Martinez Bermel, and this was his bodega, this was his estate, this is where he lived. In the background in front of me you can see the bodega and the house where they live, and there's nobody around. You can't even buy a bottle of wine, unfortunately, because it's now Spanish lunchtime and we can't find anyone to be able to buy a bottle of wine. But never mind, we move on now to the next destination. Here we are on the last DEO of the day. We're in DEO Manchuela, and you might be thinking, why am I standing next to the famous footballer Andres Iniesta? Well, we're in Iniesta's hometown of Fuentavilla, and here's a big wine place, and Andres and his family, they have a bodega called Iniesta, and they've even named some of the wines after him, and the wine is named after the goal that he scored in the 160th minute in extra time in the World Cup final. It's hard to believe it's 10 years ago to the day, almost, that he scored that winning goal in the World Cup final. But we're off to have a look at where his bodega is now, so come on, let's go see where the bodega is. And here we are, as you've seen in the town, they've got the statue of Iniesta, who scored the winning goal in the World Cup final, and here's his family's bodega, and again they'll be using lots of Bobal as one of their main grapes for making the wine that they make, because again in this wine region of La Manchuela, again the Bobal grape is huge here as well. So this is the final Bodega stop on our circle of Bobal. Next stop will be a really picturesque, beautiful place for a relaxing picnic and maybe even a dip in the river. Well, journeys end more or less. We've got to go back to Caravata, of course, but here we are in Alcala de Júcar, next to the Júcar River, which we've been following all day. And if you look up there, up the mountainside, you can see the Moorish castle that was built by the Moors about 600 years ago. And we're stood on the Roman bridge that was built in the 19th century. So work that one out. That could only happen in Spain. So that's the ruta, or the route of the Bobal Break, or as what I like to call it, the Bobal Circle. See you next time.